host, Wood.
Hey, what is going on? That did not go well at all. Hey, what's good, family? Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. I was trying to record this. I did not want to go live on this particular video because I don't want any comments. I wasn't looking for any comments. I wasn't looking to stick around. I just wanted to get in and get out, so to speak. We do this all the time. I'm going to preface this with this quote right here, and I am not trying to throw shit in sports fans and music fans' face, but there's this quote. It's attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt, and she says that great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. And take from that what you will, but for me personally, I am so sick and tired of these head-to-head discussions. But carry on. Do what you want to do. I just know when I go to the barbershop, when I'm out and about doing my thing, I don't engage in this shit any longer. I'm done with it. More or less, there are some entertaining arguments that take place around this subject, and I do find some of that, appealing. But at the end of the day, I don't give a damn, man. Nobody's gonna change anybody's mind. So, right now, we're looking at The Last Dance. And we can run with, who our guy. I mean, we see all of what Jordan did. And then, inevitably the discussion switches to, oh, well, LeBron versus Mike. I wish I could do that Denzel Washington laugh. That's terrible. But I wish I could throw that in there because, again, who cares? You have your guy, I have my guy. What I'm going to say is, the one scary thing that started, I'll be 45 in a couple of months. MJ's post-baseball number or whatever, incidentally. One thing that I started looking at a few years ago, maybe at 40, maybe at 38, I don't know. But as a person, as a man, we sit here and watch an athlete. Nowadays, you can follow a high school athlete, ninth grade. You can start seeing them in 8th grade, especially if they live nearby. But this kid, Imani Bates up in Michigan, one of the next guys, probably in 2 years, he's a sophomore. We probably see more of him in the next 2 years on TV. But you can follow a dude from high school to when he gets to college. We're interested in how he comes along, his stats his freshman year, whether he leaves, if we're talking college football, does he get a Heisman, All-American, so on and so forth, break any records, blah, blah, blah. Then we get into the draft. What 40 times did he run? How many reps did he get? What was his vertical jump? Then they get into their rookie year. What team did he win Rookie of the Year? Did he win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Defensive Rookie of the Year? Then we get into the title talk. He's never gonna win a title. This is just a generic athlete. They're never gonna win a title. They're gonna. Then can they repeat? Then do they get paid? How much do they get paid? What's his money? How many rings? How many championships did he win? How many MVPs does he win? We're going on like 9 years of our lives and deeply invested in this athlete. Then we get to, they get to closing out their career. Man, he should have retired a couple of years ago. He's retiring too early. Then they retire. Then they go and do these things. In this case, Jordan, he went on and bought the Charlotte Hornets. My man Kobe was doing his thing. Magic's done his thing. Isaiah Thomas doing his thing. We got dudes in the studios now. Analysts, morning shows, radio shows, so on and forth, so on and so forth. And we've spent 12, 15, 17 years with this person. And we have multiple people that we do this with. On the music side, somebody like a Will Smith. I got his album over here, a couple of his albums. He went on, we was rocking with him, when he was making albums. We talking about moguls now, or like moguls type dudes. 1% dudes in entertainments and sports. 1%ers. Fresh Prince graduates to TV show. We rock with his TV show. He gets into movies. We follow his movie career. We've been buying box office tickets. I was buying, his cassettes at first. I was watching his TV show. And now we're following him on Instagram. He's raising up the world philosophically and whatnot. We spent 20 years idolizing and putting Will Smith up on this pedestal. Now getting back to this Jordan and LeBron thing. After we put all this time into these dudes, I'm like 30 years deep of following Michael Jordan to a degree. I don't follow the Hornets too much. They don't win. What have I done in us individually? What have we done in that time? Have we had a promotion? The fortunate people have kids, I guess. They're going to, they're following in our footsteps, or you're leading them to be above you, so on and so forth. But individually, like in your professional lives and whatnot, or the different objectives that you have and goals that you want to accomplish, what have we done? Probably a lot of us, nothing. And then we sit here and we parse up these dudes' achievements and accomplishments. That's what we excel at. That's our arguments on how great or not great they are, who's greater. That's what we do. Cool. So anyway, when I look at these two right here, I don't really give a damn, to be honest with you. Jordan's a billionaire, owns a professional team, on his second marriage. I think they have some kids, or a kid. I just saw with this Last Dance situation, I saw his kids in front of the camera. They did an interview a week or so ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, on one of the morning shows. All three of them great looking young adults. Marcus, Jeffrey, and Jasmine. And they have careers, or they have their own business. They're entrepreneurs. They have the backing of their father. They got this great last name, this lineage. They went to college, I believe. All three of them went to college and graduated. The daughter, Jasmine, is getting ready to have a baby, and she has a fiance. Phenomenal. Jordan, didn't he just release a pair of shoes last week that had 500 brothers standing out at the mall during this pandemic? Right now, The Last Dance is doing phenomenal television numbers with us all being quarantined. Some people don't like what they see. Some people are like, I told you I never like you. We all have our respective takeaways from it. It is what it is. His story is somewhat closed. Now let's shift over to LeBron. He's going to be a billionaire. Been with his wife, his high school sweetheart. You all know that he came from, his mother was like, what's her name, Jackie? I want to say Jackie. She had him when she was 14, supposedly. He moved around and did all of this stuff. He gets on ESPN. His games are on while he's in high school. We knew he was coming. He skips college. He buys a Hummer, while he's while he's a senior. So we knew he wasn't going to college. He comes into the NBA. He hits the road running. A few years after, he starts taking his team to the playoffs. He gets to the finals Didn't work out in his favor. He leaves the team that had drafted him where he grew up, 25, 35 miles away from and played ball and grew up in the shadows of Cleveland over in up in Akron for me. He starts a family. He gets some chips. He gets some historic, contracts. And then let's look at a couple of other things that might set. All in all, I guess what I'm getting at. Where's my time? I'm at 11 minutes. We want to criticize Mike, which I think is wrong, to go back and talk about what he was, what he wasn't now, from our politics now, and how we do things and look at things now, and the stances that athletes take now. But Jordan didn't want to get involved with it. We all were reintroduced to his Republicans by Sneakers 2 or High Tops 2 or whatever it was. And he's never stood for much of anything. He's never taken too many stances. He didn't even get with Nike to not sell those shoes a couple of while, or delay the release of those. One interesting thing that he did do as a business entity or as an individual, and it's a interesting contrast between these two. He went and made Jordan brand separate from Nike. I want to say the fours, after the fours maybe, or after maybe it was at the fours, they removed the swoosh from his sneakers. And then he's kind of went on with this relationship throughout the years of being, a segment or, a part of Nike, but his own deal. It strikes me odd that LeBron never did that. That's the one area that kind of doesn't make sense to me when you look at all of this stuff that I'm getting ready to talk about. When we talk about LeBron, you saw on this documentary, Jordan's agent is David Falk. For years handled his business and repped him. LeBron conversely goes and his partner, his friend Rich Paul, starts this Clutch Sports, and over the years Clutch Sports has become pretty damn influential. I don't know if you knew this, but with this work stoppage, I want to say 6 players that are signed with Clutch Sports. I want to say there's only 20 dudes in the entire league have negotiated deals where they get their entire paychecks at one time. I'm going to make a note of this time right here. It's only a handful of dudes in the whole league. Their money isn't prorated over a year or the schedule. I don't know if it's some trigger point. Maybe it's the halfway point or something. But it's a couple of guys, LeBron being one, I believe Anthony Davis being another. But it's a handful of guys who, after a certain point in the season, they earn their entire paycheck. Rich Paul has 6 of those dudes, I want to say. I could be wrong there, but anyway, that Rich Paul also reps Anthony Davis. He reps LeBron James. There's some other dudes out there that he's repping. But that's one of the benefits of LeBron coming around now, and athletes becoming more empowered and wanting to run the show and manage their own brand, increasingly. Whereas Jordan would have never thought to do that back in the day. Nobody was doing that. Okay, so he has Rich Paul. He's also doing all of this phenomenal stuff with his other high school partner. I want to say all 3 of them played on the same team in high school. But Maverick Carter, that's been his right-hand man in a bunch of ventures away from, in entertainment. They have formed this Spring Hill Entertainment. Jordan only did, from my understanding, the the Jumpman project. and maybe some other documentaries. He's involved in this documentary now, but he went on and got involved in basketball. That's how he's been trying to, run this team that's up and down. But just to tackle or to touch on this Spring Hill Entertainment. I just lost my place. This Spring Hill Entertainment. This is phenomenal. And I don't understand. There's this uninterrupted entity that they have, and then there's the Spring Hill Entertainment that's doing television and movies. Okay, a couple of months ago on the uninterrupted Instagram account, here's all the content that they are producing with this Spring Hill Entertainment outfit. On Netflix, Top Boy, phenomenal series. Just 2 years of it. That's a partnership with Drake. Self-Made, the story on CJ Madam Walker. The Carter Effect. I have not watched The Carter Effect. On ESPN Plus, they have More Than an Athlete, The Harder Way. I haven't seen either one of those either. On Fox, Elite Youth 1 and then The Pence Method. On Stars, Warriors of Liberty City and Survivor's Remorse. I think they have 4 seasons of Survivor's Remorse. I didn't watch the last 2 because they ain't playing no damn basketball on there. On Showtime, Shut Up and Dribble. On Facebook, I Am More OBJ. I'm guessing that's Odell Beckham Jr. VOD, More Than a Game. I'm not familiar with that platform or that title. Hulu, The Wall. HBO Go, The Shop. Decent fan of The Shop. They don't. The schedule of it is a little weird to me, but they were involved with What's My Name, Muhammad Ali, and then Student Athlete. On YouTube, Best Shot, Becoming Bobby Fino and Addicted to Winning. They have something on Quibi. CBS All Access, they have $1 Million Mile. Fox Now, they have 89 blocks. And then coming around to boxing, they did the 40 days piece. I believe that was for I thought it was Anthony Joshua and Ruiz, the first fight, I want to say. I could be wrong there. So LeBron has already started his post-career, his post-basketball stuff. And the one area where LeBron might actually have a chance to do something first or exceed, he probably will never catch Michael Jordan in titles. He probably never gets to 5, honestly. And he's being robbed of an opportunity right now with this pandemic. But LeBron will probably own a basketball team in the future. If things don't change in Charlotte, conceivably, he could win a title. He could guide, as an owner, he could capture a title before or around the time of Jordan and have the opportunity to win, multiple titles. That's one thing that he could do. Conceivably, he might be able to actually play on a team with his older son. He's doing these 1-year deals or one in an option. Things mess around and go the right way. They're getting ready to take a look at doing away with the one and done, which could, I think, happen in maybe 2022. I have no idea if LeBron could last that long. But, he could play with his son. His son could make it to the NBA where Marcus and Jeffrey did not. Then lastly, he could swing it somehow to where he's the owner of the team that Bronny plays on and lead his son, and be the owner of the team that his son goes and wins a title for. So he has those types of goals that are still out there and are still possible. Wrapping this thing down, man. You like who you like, I would imagine. Again, for me personally, a lot of this criticism of athletes and picking apart their lives and their shortcomings and their foibles and all of this stuff, I turn from most of this shit nowadays, to be honest with you. It's a million YouTube channels. It's a million live streams on Instagram. It's all we do is talk opinions. Some are more entertaining than others, and I might check a few of those out. But here between LeBron and Michael Jordan, at the end of the day, they're just two of the sports world's bet, groundbreaking kings. And LeBron is probably excelling in all of these different areas in part because he can change direction on a lot of things, taking cues from where Jordan didn't go or wouldn't go or didn't want to go. So I'm failing miserably at having like some Scott Van Pelt great conclusion. So I'm just going to get on out of here, man. That was just kind of my thoughts. Like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody by the whole statement from Eleanor Roosevelt about discussing events, people, and ideas. But when it comes to this, man, I mean, just respect these dudes and maybe take a cue from what they've done and do something.